For a special election.
We have permission to start circulating.
Right, so he's collecting more signatures. And then we have an initiative on the state ballot that's going to legalize, if I'm incorrect in my language, please correct me, that's going to legalize recreational marijuana use. So isn't there some inherent conflict? Now I know if Bill McManus's initiative passes, we all know what that means. Pretty obvious, don't pop. I get it. But
No, that's not true.
if Marita's, if I love it, by the way, the Callaway Steveno initiative. It's got a nice ring to it. If the Callaway Steveno initiative passes in November on the county ballot, and the state initiative is rejected or passes, isn't that going to impact going forward?
The initiative, Measure D, on the Calaveras ballot that we're proposing has to do with the measure on the state ballot. It just has to do with commercial growers for medical marijuana purposes. If legalizing marijuana, cannabis, for recreation purposes passes, back to the drawing board for everybody. It does not, ours does not impact dispensaries. It doesn't deal with dispensaries because there's already a county code on dispensaries, and it doesn't deal, recreational marijuana is not part of Measure D.
In a second, Bill. So Bob Bowerman, if the state initiative passes, does it stipulate regulation and taxing of cultivation? Or is it just legal to recreational use pot? Or does it stipulate and provide an ordinance for growers?
It's a fine line detail, just as detailed as MRSA for recreational. It actually goes hand in hand with the medical. And one other thing, when that passes, adults 21 and over will be able to grow 6 plants with or without a ban.
Right, so you can see how complicated this is going to be. I mean, you're going to have. Okay, so Bill, go ahead and finish up, and then I'll turn it to the floor.
I want to quickly draw some real strong distinctions that you need to keep in mind. First of all, there is some misinformation here. When or try to regulate marijuana in a county, a city or a county, that jurisdiction, whether it be city or county, has absolute total control over its land use. So what we do, if you try to regulate it, you can say you can grow it here, you can grow it there, you can do whatever you want. When we ban it, according to 266, which is MRSA, every city and county is allowed to ban these activities. So it bans it for land use, which means growing it. 266 has nothing to do with personal possession. That goes all the way back to 215, which will disappear if it hasn't already. 215 didn't allow you to have possession. It gave you an affirmative defense if you got caught with a small amount. So the notion that one is going to overrule the other, the state law, the state cannot dictate to cities and counties what they do with their land. That is reserved exclusively to those jurisdictions. The ordinance that Marita's talking about, if it goes on, it goes on. If ours comes after that, ours will probably override that and it's gone. Banning marijuana is not going to affect Proposition 64. You can still have it as a possession law, Proposition 64. Our ban is for growing it, cultivating it, manufacturing, making hash oil, transporting, doing all the things with marijuana that you can. That's what we have control of.
Okay. All right. So we're going to try to do this as humane and democratic as possible, because after all, this is the democratic session. Yeah. So if you have any questions, try to keep them brief. Try to keep the sort of vocal comments down while the guests are responding, because we are recording them for television. I'm going to go to the back of the room, talk to the work in the front of the room. Does anyone have a question for any of our three guests?
Mary, please.
Woman right here.
I got one right here.
Go ahead.
I've been told by someone from Stockton that
that J.R. Reynolds is going to plan to overtake marijuana in
Is this a
this
question?
county.
This
This is a
questions to the panel.
question. This is a question. And I want to know if, when they license, if this is true, that the licensees are set up by J.R. Reynolds, they're given all the money to get the grow going, and then after 4 years, it transfers back to J.R. Reynolds. I want to know if that's true.
Okay.
Why don't you stand up?
Okay. The individual tobacco companies, okay, have already made statements. They are not interested in cannabis. That is strictly.
Okay, David, you have a person?
Yes, right
Back
here.
of the room?
Yes.
No, straight up with you guys, I've been involved in the fire in New York County, and I'm not really happy about it. And yes, I'm very business who says they work from grow, legal or not. I have a right to my peace and quiet. I have a right to my home. I live here and I want to stay here. All the growers in this room are legal probably, the ones that are not, because I'm very angry.
And the
I want
question
to
is,
know, okay, why is it that you guys can grow a half an acre? Count how many people are registered in this county right now, a half an acre times how many registered, 800 or something? That's a lot of burn, guys, okay? Where is all this money gonna go? Is it gonna go back to us or is it gonna go back to you?
who wants to answer that?
Bill?
Go ahead.
According to what the Board of Supervisors did today, they agreed to put some marijuana tax measures on the ballot. All that money is going to the general fund or back to the county to use in whichever way they see fit. So it actually becomes a supplement going back to the county. It is not earmarked for education. It is not earmarked for mental health, drug abuse, any of the programs that might, you'll have to fight for those programs. It is a general tax, and Mr. Albert can probably confirm, it's going back into like the general fund. There is no pot set aside, or that's bad. It's not like gas tax where it goes to the roads. It's nothing like that. It's not a dedicated tax.
No pun intended, right?
Yeah, no pun intended.
I'm gonna take this half, David's gonna take that half, and then, okay, this gentleman here.
A question from Maria. On your
You're gonna have to
security,
repeat the question, Tom.
speak up. On your form here, you say applicants shall be fingerprinted and subject to criminal backgrounds. What about the people that work for them?
Well, that's sort of up for negotiation on whether you can legally do
Then
that.
unless you get it in.
Okay.
You guys want it? Okay.
Just a real quick, on a statewide level with MRSA and with AUMA, it's all built in, if you can't even work in the industry, you're not a member.
Okay, so Michael Calaveras is here, who's a supervisor for the county, and maybe he could address some of the issues we're talking about what the current ordinance does and does not do.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not county council, I'm not designing the ordinance, but to address issues, Mr. McManus, did you have a statement that you made regarding the revenue generated by the tax issue on the November ballot for the county? It's absolutely right. Authorized to go ahead and do the cultivation under the legal aspects of the ordinance. Does that answer that question?
That's great.
Great, thank you.
Tom, go ahead.
Okay, we have a question.
This is from Rita.
Repeat the question, please, Tom.
For Marita.
I understand that Dianne Feinstein is totally and absolutely against regulation, legalization of marijuana, because marijuana is a horrible drug for people. And she says that 50% of the drug, alcohol-related accidents are caused from drugs. And I would like to know, that, this is the Democrat scenario here, and how you feel about your senator who has served for many years, how you feel about how she feels about this.
That's Senator Feinstein's position on the issue.
Thank you.
That's not my position on the issue.
Just so you all know that this is is streaming live on YouTube too, so if you want to watch this afterwards, and also we have public access. David, are you?
Yeah, you done okay?
Do we have an idea of the estimated revenue that's going to be brought in by these fees and by this tax?
So who wants to answer that? Somebody, please.
Michael, I
News made a statement that it would be.
Let Michael, we got the horse's mouth here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we had an update from Mr. Peter Maurer, our planning director in the county, as we concluded our meeting today. We have 733 applicants for commercial grow. $1,000 per fee for an application. That's about $3.3 million. None of that has been collected yet, because there has been some last minute applications that were taken, and they're gonna go through those, and once those are categorized, they're gonna come down and bring their checks in. And the personal caregiver and the personal use for medical marijuana for their own grow is in the neighborhood of 146, I believe. And that's gonna be a $200 fee or $300 fee, and depending if you're a caregiver or if you're
And isn't, you said that none of that funding is earmarked specifically. Isn't, it goes to the general, but isn't some of it? I guess I didn't hear it correctly. Here's the question.
fee
Yeah,
for commercial cultivation, medical marijuana in Calaveras County per our urgency ordinance passed by the board. There's a $5,000 fee. We have received 733 applications. And that information is as good as a 5 o'clock.
so my question is, earmark for,
Only for law enforcement, administration, background checks of a commercial permit. That is it.
so a follow-up to Mr. McManus then, does that ally or take the concern out of your concern that there isn't money for enforcement?
Okay, you've got to remember, you're talking about two different animals here. One is a fee and one is a tax. In California, a fee, the government cannot make a profit off of the fee. A fee is based on what the actual services cost the county. So in the case of a building permit, it might be an $800 permit because the guy has to come out 3 times, you have to do the plan checking and all that. The government is not allowed to make a profit on that, so they adjust the fee. With the Callaway initiative, we start off, let's just say $5,000, and that's what they have, is what we have now, as a fee for processing our application, making sure the code compliance has vehicles to get out and check, make sure there's people in the planning department that can push these mountains of paper. But after the first year, with the Callaway initiative, all those fees are cut in half, which means that enforcement is cut in half, which means that paper pushers are cut in half. Either that or the citizens of Calaveras County will have to make up the difference with general fund money, because taxes are one thing, fees are something else. So right now it's a fee-based system. The taxes may be coming. We don't know what the taxable event is, how they're going to do it. How do you tax marijuana? It's a plant that you click. You know,
Okay. Open the floor again, I'm sorry.
Sure.
I just have a question for Mr. McManus. I understand a comment made earlier that you now have the correct number of signatures for your initiative.
No.
Or it's, okay,
You're
no,
talking to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
but my question is if you do, does that mean that the county is gonna have to foot about $35,000 for a special election?
No.
Because it won't be in time for the November election?
No. That's we got those numbers today. First of all, our petition was submitted. Our notice of intent was filed yesterday. It went to county council. It came out of county council's office today, which surprised us, as being approved in the proper form. Once we do a little bit more paperwork, we'll be in a position where we can actually start gathering signatures. Now, your other question was
Well, depending
the
on,
cost of the general election.
if you have to, I mean, if it has to go to a special election,
No, okay.
that's gonna cost the taxpayers approximately $35,000.
No, that's incorrect. The type of election that they're calling for in March, which is the next special election, is a regular go to the polls with absentee ballot. It's like a regular election. If we were the only thing on that special election, it would cost, Rebecca Turner said today, she estimated about $20,000. However, there may be other things on that special election. They're already talking about special districts may be on there, which is, you know, like a water district bond, a dog tax, whatever it is, may be on that, and all those costs are split down to handle it. That's why they try to, like today, they consolidate issues onto a ballot to get as many things there, because it costs the same to mail a ballot out with 100 items as it does for one.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, Bradford, you have a question?
Hi, I'm a healthcare provider in the community, and I think there's something maybe in the arena that's not being addressed. I see people that come to the city all the time who are under the influence of marijuana. They're driving. This is a big problem for me. How are you to come up with any kind of plans to get a campaign out there so that this doesn't affect our roadways? You want it legalized, but what are you going to do about when people are getting arrested?
And I totally agree with you. There isn't a legal way like for alcohol that you can test on the site. I mean, you can do a blood test, but at some point, you're going to probably have a skin patch test. I mean, this isn't perfect. This whole thing is an exercise in let's move forward. It's been 20 years since we've had Prop 215. Look at where we are today. I mean, I agree with you, but are most of the people who are being stopped, is it for marijuana? Is it for prescription drugs? Is it for alcohol?
Which are all illegal. Can I just make one more comment about that? Yes, drunk drivings and deaths rates have gone down in all states. Colorado and Washington have gone up 7 to 18% because of THC use.
Next question is that.
And somebody put out a sheet or explained very succinctly the difference between the current emergency ordinance in place and the one that's going on the ballot for control. In other words, what are we losing or gaining? If you voted no on it, then we revert back to the execution of the emergency one, I believe. And also, only I heard in here was we're going to lose half more revenue per year. Is one difference. So can somebody give me all the other differences, like the difference in the number of plants you can have, does one better support medical marijuana, or worse? Anybody have that list? It's not here. If you vote no, then we know we're going to have backup.
Yeah.
That's really a good question.
Bob, you want to answer?
I understand that the fees are gonna go down next year, but by then, the taxes will be in. The tax revenue locally will be an incredible amount more than just the fees. A whole lot. Also, what's coming into place here shortly are the taxes for recreational, and what's already in place is the taxes on the medical.
I'm sorry, my question comes with California has it's just between these two control ordinances.
Dale, there is very little difference between Measure D that we're proposing and the urgency ordinance. It is modeled after February's and what the board approved in May. So it's very similar. There are some minor differences, but it's mostly patterned after what the board approved. Now, what they're proposing, there's significant differences. The urgency ordinance and Measure D. Well, the board is proposing.
They're trying to tune the one they have in place now.
No, and I'll let Mr. Oliveira talk to it, but they are going to go after their own ordinance, which of course they have to do an environmental impact report on.
Is that going to be published before the election so we can make an educated? No.
Theirs will it'll be probably 10 months to a year before theirs is approved, if it's approved.
Question for
Bill that out and then answer.
Question. Go ahead.
I just wanted to make some distinctions when we talk about the Callaway Steveno ordinance versus the urgency ordinance. If you get a chance, you can write this number down, you can get it online. It's 17.95.200. And what that is a list of all the marijuana activities concerned with growing, not the manufacture of hash oil or things like that. When you look down this list and compare it to the urgency ordinance, every single requirement has been downgraded. Administrative use permits have been downgraded to zoning clearance certificates. Conditional use permits have been downgraded to administrative use permits. So the threshold for getting these things is lower under the current initiative. That's a measure D, C, D?
D.
D. D? Is it dog?
D is for gambling. This is what Mr. McManus is talking about. And this is very similar to what the board had proposed in February. What they are proposing to do to do their own. He is correct. But in terms of the urgency ordinance and Measure D, there is not significant differences.
Okay, so I have a follow-up for Supervisor Rivera. And it's not because it's just that time of day, it's 130 degrees. Is there, am I hearing Marita right, that there is a possibility that the Board of Supervisors will come up with another set of regulations after the election and after it should it pass?
Yes. Yes and no. Ladies and gentlemen, the urgency ordinance was designed as our forerunner for what we call the permanent ordinance. That is still in the development stage.
So that's not what's on the ballot.
Not what's on the ballot. We talked about the EIR, Environmental Impact Report, $174,000 bill for that one. That is going to be part of the permanent ordinance. That is going to be done later on in the year. There are, and the only reason I can say this with some type of accuracy is I have personally gone through our emergency ordinance, I've gone through the initiative, Callaway initiative, the one that Marita, you can't even look break if I make a mistake. The bottom line is I have looked into both those line by line. I had to do that, once I made a decision today. Bottom line is you need to do that for yourself, because there are some significant differences, and there are some very important similarities. That's the reason that we're going to have this on the ballot in November, because this is such a big issue. It affects all of us for a long time in Calaveras County, and I cannot stand to have that decision made by 5 people. Exercise your right.
My name is Kaz Tomaszewski, the Executive Director of the Calaveras Cannabis Alliance. I'm also the industry representative that was consulted by the county working group that developed both the emergency ordinance and the tax initiative. And as such, I was wondering if I have permission to host actually answer a question or two that I heard that you not believe was answered, and also to ask a question. That's all right. Please go ahead. So,
Second.
So one of the questions was in regards to funding. Mr. Oliver was kind enough to verify that there's about $3.3 million in fees that come up that are earmarked for enforcement. On top of that, there's a tax measure. What is that tax measure? It is $2 a square foot for an outdoor grow. If you look into the numbers right now, we have about 730 commercial grows registered, about an average of 15,000 square feet per grow. If you do the math on that, you're going to come out somewhere between $15 and $20 million. Now, that would be coming into effect next year, 2017. Considering the county's discretionary budget of approximately $40 million, $21 million of which is earmarked for Butte fire recovery, that would constitute essentially a doubling of the county's discretionary budget next year. It is not earmarked, of course. It will be at the discretion of the board what those funds are used for, but that is the type of money that we can expect to see come in through this ordinance and that taxation model together. And that taxation model would also be compatible with C3, although it would not be compatible, obviously, with the ban initiative. A question that I had in relation to that. One thing that CCA had said from the very beginning is we have around 1,000 grows in this county. There was a lot of doubt about that projection, that assessment at the beginning. However, now with over 900 registrations total between commercial and personal caregiver in the county, that's been validated as an assessment. With about 1,000 grows in the county, is our understanding, talking to certain law enforcement contacts, that the cost of shutting down an individual grow in a ban is anywhere from 5 to 6 figures per grow. And the question that I have for Mr. McManus is, in the result of a ban ordinance with 1,000 grows to shut down at that cost per grow, how do you pay for it without taxing us?
Yes.
There's several ways to look at it. First of all, your numbers, in my opinion, are greatly exaggerated. There's absolutely no reason to believe that kind of revenue is going to be flowing into the county. When they actually start charging the tax and someone starts paying it and they count it and they put it in the bank, then we'll see what it is. Because up to now, we've not had much compliance. The one thing that we've had a problem with in the county, and a lot of small counties get this help, and I've spoken with the U.S. Attorney in San Francisco and the head of DEA in Sacramento. Up until this time, they have been unwilling to step in, except on public lands, to help with the eradication of marijuana. And the reason I get from both of them is, you let the problem happen. You do something about marijuana. You get us an ordinance we can enforce in your county to give us justification to be there, and we'll be there to help you. And so we're looking forward to getting assistance from DEA, ATF, Fish and Game, all of the other law enforcement agencies. But until we give them an ordinance that has some teeth in it, there's really nothing they can do, and they're not going to come out and help us. So it's a combination of the two. Like I say, Yuba has banned outdoor growing. It's been 2 years. They still have outdoor growing, but it's diminishing. They're getting it under control. Their county is different. They take all the money from fines and everything else in Yuba County, and it is dedicated to the Sheriff's Department and code enforcement for their exclusive use. So they call it like Account 374. And it keeps rolling in there, and so they're able to kind of be self-sustaining. And the more they cut down, the less is left. And so they're making headway on it. And they have criminals down there too, that cartels and whatnot. But they are making progress, which is better than before they started.
Councilor, you have another question? And folks, let me remind you, we have about 5 more minutes. Each of the speakers have 2 minutes for a closing statement, and we have to be out of here by 8 o'clock. Okay? So, Councilor, do you have a question?
Gentlemen, I just have a quick question. In the history of Calaveras County, when have you guys gotten in the history of Calaveras County, when has it been revenue or fee-wise, $3-point-something million have entered the coffers for the planning commission? Has that ever happened before?
It'll be the gold rush.
It's a super question. So that being said, the growers stepped up and did pay their $5,000 fee. Why not give them a chance to pay $2 square foot of taxation for what you've done?
I'm not the king. So this is going to be on a ballot, and then people can decide. As far as bragging about the fee money that's coming in.
But that money doesn't exist, supposedly.
Okay, I'm going to try to answer the question. As far as the fee money coming in, it's not like you pay a little bit back to the county. It all is supposed to go back to the county. It is based on the actual cost of the county. So taking $3.5 million in is, we already know that there's going to be $3.5 million worth of expenses. That money is going right back out. So what we've done in the county is we created a problem, then we tax the problem, then we use the tax money to fight the problem.
My question was,
and what we should do is just go back to the beginning and get rid of the problems.
My question was, has that ever happened in the history? When in the history of the county has $3-point-something million
So my question is for Mr. McManus. Given the anticipated increase in people wanting cannabis in the state of California with the ballot measure in November, where do you propose commercial cannabis to be cultivated?
What are you talking about? Where would I propose that you grow marijuana?
I'm wondering where you think commercial cannabis should be cultivated in the state, given the anticipated increase in.
Okay, I'll give you a good tip. I'll give you a good tip. If you want to get out of Calaveras County because the heat's going up, go down to a little town called Desert Hot Springs down in Southern California a little bit. They have legalized marijuana there. They are in the process now of building 3.1 million square feet.
There's a lot of questions. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Behind you, Tom.
Okay. Go
I
ahead.
just have one question for Bill McManus. I'd like getting in one industry that doesn't have criminals inside of it, even blue collar, white collar industries.
You got
Is there one industry that does not have criminals operating inside of it? And should every industry that does have a criminal operating inside of it, including the church, or including anything, I'm just saying, anything, should they be shut down because there are people that are breaking the law? Because there are hundreds of people, and lots of them in this room, that are trying to do the right thing, pay their taxes, and pay all their fees, operate inside of the new regulations, even though they're crippling us to comply. So that's my question. You don't want to.
Okay, what industry is not going to have criminal activity in it?
None.
Cannabis in 2018.
Sunglasses, the mustache, go ahead.
Thank you. I've been a resident of Calaveras County for 26 years. I've seen a lot of things come and change, and obviously there's some things possibly going to change in the future. I'd like to know, probably no one can answer this, but with the recent fires in my area, and they were cannabis related because the wiring was faulty, homes were potentially lost, and in the future I can guarantee there's probably going to be some homes lost. Our insurance carrier is now saying they might not cover us anymore because we're at high risk because marijuana grows. Will the county, will the Cannabis Alliance come and pay my insurance for my house and cover that? No, they won't. They're going to let my house burn, my property burn, and they're going to run away with all they want to making money, even though they're paying their taxes, but still making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, and paying their minimal taxes, but running away real happy that they made their profit. That's not fair. It needs to be somewhere other than Calaveras County. Shame on the county supervisors for allowing it to get this far. Sorry for the people that are involved in it. Eventually, hopefully, it works out well for medicine, but for the purposes now, it's just making it dangerous in our area.
Okay, want to answer that question?
Briefly answer your question. Lloyd's of London has been looking at this. They're the major underwriter of all insurance companies, almost swath through it. You might want to check with your insurance company. There are marijuana exclusions going out for homeowners policies that if something happens because of marijuana in your property, whether it's someone falling, getting hurt, fires, whatever, you will not be covered. Additionally, on top of that, the California Association of Realtors, and I'm sure we got some realtors in here, have come out with warnings to all real estate agents that you must disclose property that you're showing or property that is in the immediate area of property you're showing if it was ever used for marijuana, because first of all, the toxic residues, second of all, it could be an active grow that just isn't there at the time, and you could get sued for not disclosing the presence of marijuana or marijuana activities in real estate transactions. So everyone these are the unintended consequences of this. When you let it go and you ignore the law, it starts coming back, and it comes back to people like you, because you have insurance, because you do the things right.
We have one more question. I'll repeat the question.
Okay.
Question now.
There's economics.
this is based on economics, which is not a mystery. If you restrict supply of anything, the price goes up. Bingo. You know what prohibition did with alcohol. Okay, we're moving from an area where the cannabis was almost black market, but not quite. And we're finding that we have new people coming in the county. I know I'm a realtor that are growing cannabis. What do we know about the future, the past production of cannabis, and what do we project the future production of cannabis to be, knowing about supply and demand? These are real fundamental things, because if the price of, instead of $1,000 for a pound of marijuana, it dropped to 500 or 200, what happens to these taxes that you're going to collect? What happens to the fees? What happens to the industry? I think you have to think about this a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
Last question.
Okay, the flag shirt.
My question is for Mr. McManus. I've been to a lot of county meetings and city meetings where people talk about how little money the county has for things like schools and roads, really important things. And this is an agricultural community, so it just so happens that one of the best crops in the world grows here. So with those two things in consideration, do you have other alternatives for like things young people can do in this county in the future, and things, sustainable things, industry for this county that's not cannabis?
Is that for Bill?
For you. What was the question?
What's your alternative?
So way back, I got anything in here.
So if we're not going to grow cannabis, what are we going to grow in this county that's going to provide jobs?
Industrial grapes.
Real jobs.
Pardon me, real jobs.
Not Walmart jobs. We don't
Okay,
want jobs.
Someone already answered something. I'll let them answer.
Okay, folks, we have just like time for just like one or two more questions.
One more question.
One more, okay. All right, water. I'll give you time.
I am on Pennsylvania Gulch, and we've all got wells out there because there's no county water. And there's been a few times in the past couple of years when we've lost our water and we've had to let the well sit for a day or two to recharge. I'm very concerned about what's going to happen, because apparently we do have someone that's come in pretty close to us on Penn Gulch, and I'm really worried about our water table and what's going to happen. I'm wondering if anybody has looked at this as an issue.
I'd like,
Go ahead, Maria.
Do you want to do it?
I would love to.
I mean, I know water too.
Yeah, Maria.
I'm gonna do it really short.
Next time we'll put you on the panel and you can.
Yeah. The growers have to submit a water permit, and they have to get a well permit. No difference than anybody else in here who has dug a well on their property. I mean, she's concerned, rightfully so, but as I'm learning that marijuana production uses less water than grape production, and it uses a whole lot less water than golf courses.
Last.
I got one question for everybody in this room. We've already discussed how much money has came in to help the issue that we currently have. My question is, if you guys do vote, for the taxation and whatnot, would you guys accept the taxation to work for your community or not? So then nobody wants that. Would you accept that taxation from what we do? The revenue to use for whatever the board of supervisors wants, or the voters, all of you in this room. Will you accept it to fix your roads? Will you let your kids go on that bus if they do it? if they use that money for that, would you?
Is that
Is that the question?
That is the question.
What I want to do is, I'm going to answer your question, and I want this to be my wrap-up, and I'll just go first, because it's getting really stinking hot here.
Yes, sir.
As far as the taxation, if you look at taxing an industry like marijuana, you're selling out. For every dollar, I'm sorry.
Tax on alcohol or tobacco.
Come on,
please, let the man speak.
For every dollar that's being taken in, someone else, like people in this room, are losing that same dollar on the value of their property, on the value of their lifestyle, and what they've invested their entire life for. It's a zero-sum game. Just because you're going to pay something, we don't know how much, someone else is definitely going to lose. So there is no winner here. And it's the people who have the most at stake and live through the most terror that are going to be footing the bill for everyone else. If you're okay with that, that's fine. I'm not. So my wrap-up is that we are going to have a ballot measure, hopefully in March, to ban marijuana. And it's going to be all cultivation, all marijuana products, including dispensaries. We asked you to come. Our website is bancommercialcultivation.com. There's a lot of information on there. There's links to other websites like Smart Colorado and Calm and some other places. We'll have our initiative on there, all sorts of information, and you can kind of surf through there and get more information. And one link will kind of lead you to another if you really get interested in it. So we are retooled our committee. Our petition will be ready to go soon. And it took us 8 days to get 3,500 signatures before. This time we'll have almost 90 days, and our target is 7,000 signatures. And we feel we can do that. And in March, we will ban commercial cultivation in Calaveras County. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. 2 minutes, please.
Okay. I support reality. The reality is, according to our sheriff, and according to the League of Cities, and according to the California Police Chief Association, the reality is marijuana is here. It has been here for a long time. They have tried everything they can possibly do to get rid of it. Not happening. And the only thing we can do is to actually get by the throat and control it. Okay? The Wild West of cannabis has got to be done. Banning doesn't work. Can't afford it anyway. We've been trying it for 100 years. What we have not tried is heavy regulation. I don't mean light, I mean heavy, like MRSA, like this initiative, Measure D, okay? Like the emergency, the planning commission did an incredibly good job when I'm putting that ordinance together. Okay? That's called reality. It's not going away. Get it by the throat, choke it a little bit, and make it work. Because the alternative is chaos. Thank you.
On behalf of the proponents, I have our initiative here, if you would like to read it tonight, tomorrow with coffee. We wanted what was right for Calaveras County, and we strongly, 5 of us, we're very different people. You think, how did these 5 people become proponents of this? Because we wanted regulation and enforcement in Calaveras County. And we wanted to work with the community, the cannabis community, on making this a healthy and a safe environment in our county. And we would like your support in November. Vote yes on Measure D.
So to Bob Bowerman and Bill McManus and Marita Callaway. To the residents of Calaveras County, thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to learn a little bit about this important issue. Thank you. A pleasure to have you.
Thank you all for coming. Good night.
I don't think you're ready for
Yeah,
We've already gotten rid of one of them.
Yeah. Hey.
John, it's good to see you.
How you doing, sir?
Take that. Take that as a compliment.
My pleasure. Ever up there? I got you.